So the true infusion, of course, is in the silence. The true infusion is this joining in the ever-present now. When we are resting, we are being infused with the frequencies of our glorious true essence nature. We're being infused with light, a light that illuminates, a light that brightens and brings the remembrance of our own brilliance. It's so easy in the life to keep collaborating with the story and belief in separation, in division. And we are also being constantly invited to make our collaboration with the undivided reality, to not keep affirming the story of limitation, to not keep affirming the story that I'm unworthy, I'm lacking, I'm deficient, I'll never get it. Just quite simply, there's more than one power, right? There's something other than love that has power. Because as soon as we are affirming that there's more than two, more than one rather, as soon as we are affirming that there is two or more, then we are leaving the true deepest knowing of our heart of what we belong to. The story itself is a story of two. The story itself is a story of division. And yet, when our perspective of seeing knows that everything that is moving and changing is not a divided experience, that it's one undivided reality, it's one undivided fabric. This is what frees us from that sense of division feeling like limitation and lack, which brings a felt sense of wanting something else, like a constant feeling of discontent, because essentially we are longing to be living in the fullness of who we are. And so in the resting, in the infusing in presence, in the field of presence, it's like we drop out of the layer of collaboration with division. We drop out of that layer of being on guard, of being protected, and we just rest into a relaxation, into the being, into being here now. And that relaxation, the relaxation itself is like a frequency of yes, a frequency that brings us into the undivided reality, into the presence of now, the infinite, unbounded. Yeah. And so whatever we think we are longing for, it's as if we are wired with a longing for freedom. And if we collaborate with our longing for freedom, and in a way we make our allegiance and our commitment to this freedom, and we make our allegiance with a surrendered knowing that there is only one, that this is an undivided reality, And it's not like a sense of affirming, like positive affirmation. It's a sense of affirming through the frequency of our deepest knowing. Like, I know what is true, I know. And in that knowing is a felt sense. I know this sense of being. I know there is only one undivided reality. And even if in every moment it feels like sometimes it escapes me, or I escape from it, it's a sense of touching into that felt sense, the frequency of what the heart knows. And when we're in that frequency of what the heart knows, then we are affirming and resonating at a frequency of yes. And this resonant frequency is what calls divine support to us. It calls grace to us, right? Because we're available for it. We're simply available for it. And so whenever we feel like we're in challenge or we're blocked, the way of unblocking, the way of relaxing the sense of contraction is to come to the presence and really affirm, like, what is the true knowing of the heart. And it's not a sense of trying to create a mood or creating a new belief. It's about actually resting, because the resting itself brings us to a frequency transmission field of light, of all-encompassing love. It brings us to a transmission field that is naturally inclusive and receptive and welcoming, where truly every single fiber, atom, and thread of our being can relax and soften. It brings us into this sacred softening. Where the sense of holding tension, we could say holding multidimensional tension, starts to soften into a relaxation, into simply being here now. In a way, we hear these words so many times, and we've followed these kind of instructions, right? It's like we've heard it so many times, and yet let it land in a place where it never gets old, where it's ever fresh, ever present, ever now. Because to truly stop and just be here is to discover and root yourself in the grounded presence of being, which is the true ground. It's the true safety. We can be so often in patterns of safety seeking. We could even say we could be really looking for safety over freedom. It's a conditioned habit to look for safety over freedom, right? And when we're looking for safety, we are more likely to be in these kind of collaborations with the sense of unworthiness, the sense of limitation, the sense of really feeling like, I'm never going to get this awakening malarkey. It's not for me. I'll just try and be just a good human, right? But the thing is that whatever we tell ourselves, we're wired. We're wired to know our divinity. We're wired for freedom, because that already is the true nature. It's not like, oh, I'm a human and I come in and I've kind of got a choice. I think I'm going to live this kind of life, Because whatever the human thinks, whatever kind of life the human thinks they're going to live, like, you're made of God. You can't escape that you are made of God. You are made of love. You are one with the great glory. And whatever is playing in the life and whatever you think you want in the life, the glory is going to always be tapping us on the shoulder. And of course, for some that will feel more obvious, and for some that will feel denser and less available, and it will feel like a play of constant desire, right? And I'm speaking big picture, human, collective consciousness, right? So every human is wired for this freedom. And yet many, of course, don't realize what is actually available, what is possible. And so it's the most incredible grace to have the revelation available of what is possible, to like just touch into like something inside that says, I'm going for freedom in this lifetime. I want the awakening. I want the enlightenment. I want to take this all the way to wholeness. I want to go all the way home, right? Just the fact that we can recognize that itself is the awake consciousness saying, I know what I am. I know the truth of who I am. And I'm really called for this lived human experience to embody the fullness of this. Nothing less will do, right? It's that sense that whatever we think we're thinking, that grace has its own plan for us, and we are one with that grace. And if we collaborate with that grace, we find that we're flowing with that grace, and we're collaborating with that which wants our freedom more than anything. We could even say more than we think we want our freedom, right? The glory wants our freedom because the glory knows that we are, of course, in a certain sense, already free. We are already whole. And it's about shifting this perspective. And the perspective shift comes through relaxation, through softening, and through joining, right? It's a depth of healing, a depth of true healing, which is healing the belief in separation. And so in a way we could say, let us stop affirming the belief in separation. Like, what are the ways that we affirm the belief in separation? What do we tell ourselves? What story do we tell ourselves that affirms, I am separate, I am unworthy, I'm never going to get this. There's a power and an authority outside of me. And in a way, all of the ways that fear comes are the markers for that, right? And that's not because we're getting it wrong. It's like the markers are messages. The markers are deep, resonant messages, and an incredible grace that says, here's an opportunity to meet this part of you, to relax this part of you, to stop telling yourself that story of lack and division and believing it. So in a way, to stop that momentum of believing in lack and limitation, and to look upon those beliefs from a deep resting that says, I see how you believe that. And yet just by illuminating the belief, there's a revelation, there's a revealing that it is a belief and that it's not the essential truth. And how we discover what is the essential truth is by just being here, just being here. Yeah. So here we say the true infusion is the is the soaking in the silence, soaking in the transmission field, soaking in the flow of radiant frequencies of Shiva Shakti, right? Soaking in the flow of the transmission of divine light. And of course, in any given moment, we can drop into the current, the flow, and soak. And yet there's something very potent when we come together, that soaking field is enhanced, amplified by our gathering and the deep intentional yes to freedom. Because even if you feel like you arrive here feeling contracted and spinny and goodness knows what kind of intensity might be playing through, it's like the part of you that arrives here is the part of you that knows, the part of you that is awake. And that's the curious thing, right? That what brings us here together is the consciousness that knows. And so the gathering is a gathering that amplifies and enlivens the frequency field. And it means that the soaking together is deeper and more radiant than we often touch into alone. And of course that deepens and matures and refines and you know, as well, there are some environments where we can feel just more of a amplification of the field of transmission. But there's something very potent in actually gathering, because let's say we want to bring all healing to the full sense of wholeness. And whilst on a certain level, this is a lone journey, right? It's a journey into yourself. Within our human capacity, it's like a journey into ourself, and the true healing is resting and relaxing into the true nature. But there's something very potent about bringing that also to the relational, right? Because so much of our discordance happened, of course, in the relational field. And where we feel like we leave ourselves often is in the relational field, right? People will say, well, when I'm by myself, or when I'm, you know, just sitting, when I'm at home, or when I'm in nature, I can feel really clear. But it's when I come into connection with companions or family or in a group that, yeah, I can meet parts of myself that still feel triggered or stirred, or however that happens, right? We all recognize it. So there's a magic about being able to join, where we can soak and infuse together, where we are both expanded and in the fullness of our true nature, and yet we are also relating, right? Because it allows the healing, the true healing, to go all the way through. And of course, we carry that possibility in any and all our relational fields of connection. So as we come together, we're being infused, and it's like we're being alone together and together alone, right? It's like both are true simultaneously. That we're in the oneness, the all oneness of the sense of the being alone with God, and yet we're alone with God together. And what we really discover here is like we are one with God, and as we are one with God, as we are one with the being, that we join in a field of being, where the being is shared, It's not my being and your being, it's a shared being. And this is a really potent place, let's say, like the here now place, is a very potent place to rest and relax, for softening to happen, resting into the being and discovering the oneness. It's a potent place to affirm what I truly know is true, being the sense of being, and to allow the ways that we collaborate with division to soften into this field, the ways that we confirm I'm not worthy, I am separate, I'm divided, I'm not whole, I'm broken, I'm not fixable, I'm an emotional wreck. I'm a challenged human, right? Because what we discover is that in the presence of love, in the presence of wholeness, that every single fiber, atom and thread of our being belongs. And when we rest and we soak, everything that we feel to be discordant and dysfunctional in our field and our behavior is welcomed by love, is welcomed by presence. Every single fiber of you is welcome here, beloved, says the beloved, right? And that beloved is your very own heart, right? It's the love in your heart that loves you. It's the love that's already in your heart that is loving you and calling you to your own wholeness. The whole movement is happening within you, within your consciousness. There's nothing outside of you. And this is where we would say there is not a second power. When we realize that there's not a second power, we realize, well, the power must be here now. The power is with the glory. The power is with the glory. Yeah. And so when we rest here in the glory and we receive the frequency transmission of light, glory, grace, and we just sip upon the silence and we soak and relax into the light transmission field, the intelligence that knows, the intelligence that knows how to recalibrate and reorganize the field, the intelligence that knows exactly what's going on inside you right now, the intelligence that knows every single thing about you and loves you completely, just the way you are, right? So we just rest, and the resting is a relaxation and an infusing in the silence, in the stillness, in the shared field of being. We discover here what true holiness is, that the holiness is the wholeness of being. That there's nowhere to get to, there's nothing to fix or change. And whatever is happening in your field right now, you are held, you are loved. And all of you is welcome here, just as you are. You are seen in the fullness. You're not seen as a persona. You're not seen as someone that's putting on their best facade for the world and getting a reflection of being seen for the identities or the character that you're showing up as. You're being seen exactly as you are. All of you is being seen, and all of you is accepted and welcomed by love in this moment. So here the story of limitation doesn't matter, because the story of limitation is exactly that. It's a maya, it's an illusion, a story. And so you see, if we collaborate with the story, we're keeping ourselves on a frequency level of limited possibility. Whereas if we make our collaboration with, I know there is only one undivided reality, and I'm going to rest here and say yes to that. Because then the part of you that's in the story frequency is also welcome, right? It's like an access all areas pass to just rest. And then the parts that feel to be limited, lacking, unlovable, unworthy, challenged, these parts then are naturally included in the wholeness, by the wholeness, right? True wholeness never divides. That's Purna, right? True wholeness never divides. It dances as the play of the world without ever dividing, and falls back into itself, never ever leaving its wholeness. It's an integrity that is never broken. And when we make our allegiance with that integral wholeness, the flow of that, the current of that, and we allow ourselves to be carried, we enter into that frequency field, which is our essential nature. It already is. We're not achieving something new. We're remembering at a resonant level the grace and glory of who we are, the essential nature that is already the truth of our being. So as these words are coming, just resting here and receiving yourself. Let your exhalation be like a full, deep exhalation that it releases everything stale. And so the next breath is truly fresh. Allows you to relax even deeper. And then just take in the freshness of the frequencies of the transmission field, of just being here, just as you are, where all of you is welcome. And there's a miraculous exchange of frequency happening to upgrade, recalibrate, and reorient you and your field with what you are saying yes to. Nothing to do, nothing to understand. Just a yes to collaborate with love. Yes, love, I'm all in. I am yours. Do whatever you will with me. So just resting and receiving. Being taken by the silence into a deeper revelation of yourself. Being awake to the sacred softening, the gentle relaxation into the still, silent presence field. Just being. just being here. And of course, always just aware and awake and noticing what's happening now. The deep resting, the deep resting. And you might find as you come into this deep resting that it calls you into connection with fatigue, and it brings a sense of maybe feeling a little sleepy. And it's just to be aware of this state of deep resting, where we could say the fatigue, the exhaustion of trying to hold it together, trying to work it out, trying to be me, just starts to release and soften. The fatigue of trying to present yourself, the identities, the personas. And it's not making any of it wrong. That's the beauty of love, is that love says, sure, beloved, you've played these games, you've used these tricks. It's been a survival mechanism, and you've believed that you've needed that. But just to illuminate here and to know that every single part of you is welcome here, and there can be a relaxation where you don't need to hold on to any way of describing yourself. You don't need to hold on to any kind of roles, particularly the roles and the labels that divide you from the glory that separate you, because they hold these ideas of I have to and I should and I must, and if I don't, and this is what I'm responsible for, right? We're being invited into such a wildly unconventional letting go. We're being invited that everything that we think that we are responsible for and that we have to do, that the glory is saying, well, you don't actually have to do that. And it's like, what? Really? Like you're here to be free. You're not here to be bound by those stories that limit us into, we could say, the sense of duty, limit us into a sense of being motivated by shame and fear and guilt, like the have-tos. We're not here to be holding ourselves in the safety of the familiar, because have you noticed that the impulse in us is to grow and expand? And yet we reach these seeming edges where, like a transitional edge, an evolutionary edge, where to expand feels like an anticipatory excitement, and all at the same time it feels like a terrifyingly unsafe and not a very good idea, says the me and the mind. Stay where you know, stay where you are safe, stay in what you've always done. Just keep it simple. Ooh, that's a good one, isn't it? Keep it simple. Veiling a sense of keep yourself safe, beloved. Keep it simple, keep it safe, right? But what if that isn't that sense of keep it simple, that we have to be so discerning about where the protection is saying, don't take a giant step into the next chapter of your life. Don't go beyond what you already know, right? Keep it simple. Keep it in the tall grass, right? But what if your whole wiring, your soul is calling you to your greatness, to your vastness, to your fullness. And you can feel it, you can taste it, right? And you're just longing to take a ginormous bite of whatever is calling you. But you're kind of frozen feeling like, oh, but I don't know if and what and how. And your deepest intuitive self does know. The rest is like this constant negotiation with the fear, right? It's like a constant conversation where your deep intuitive knowing knows. And now you're just saying, oh, these are all the reasons why I can't do that, why I can't afford it, why I shouldn't, why I should do it this way. Like I have to, yeah, and I have to do it this, right? So just to notice, right? What does it take to take the giant leap into the next glorious, alive moment of your evolution, right? And in a way, of course, it's not about knowing or understanding, it's about resting. It's about truly resting. Where all of the fear and all of the stories and all of the commitments to limitation can feel the safety that is true, can feel where the true belonging is, and can feel the power that says, jump without knowing what is next. Jump, right? Because that jump is a jump just into yourself, into your own heart, a jump into your own vastness. So as the words are coming, what are you noticing? Just be present with yourself here and reflective. And if questions are coming from here, some of them might resonate and some of them just let them pass by, but just notice what is enlivened for you. What feels exciting? What feels like an excited stirring, like an evolutionary edge, like teetering on the edge? And what feels like a fear? What feels like gulp? I don't even know what that looks like, because we're not speaking about knowing. We're not speaking about the plan. We're not speaking about having the information. We're speaking about resting, and resting deeply enough that we can open to layers and realms of our multidimensional being that brings online greater capacity, brings online a greater connection to the intelligence of life. So we're not being asked to kind of make a move that is a decision. We're being invited to rest deeply enough that we let go of identity and persona that holds us back from the naturalness of the evolutionary impulse that is awake and alive in us. And the curious thing is that the momentum is here now in the resting. The momentum is here now in the resting. So just noticing what is happening in your field. Being with yourself here. Noticing what is stirred, what is enlivened, what is like excited anticipation. Noticing the stillness, the silence. And here the opportunity to be with the feeling field. the aliveness of this moment, the energy in the nervous system, the energy in the body, in the heart. Maybe there's energy in the throat. Just to be with it and to feel it. How is your head, your brain, your mind? Is it feeling like it's resting and relaxing, or does it feel like it might be ready to explode? Just let it be held and relax into just being here, nothing to do, nothing to understand. There are no moves to make. All of the moves are universal, beloved. All of the moves are universal. Just to fall back into yourself, to fall back into yourself. Catch yourself. Feel the holding that is divine, the care, the patience, and the compassion that is here for you. As you fall back into this field of silent being, of silent presence, and you fall back into the wholeness and the frequency of holiness. Yeah. Just resting. Pulling all the energy that gives to nourish yourself, give to yourself. Pulling all that giving energy back into a sense of deep nourishment for yourself. Because as you nourish yourself, then you are then a true wellspring that can be an offering, pulling back all of the threads that feel like they have to and they should, and are giving, pleasing, caring because I have to, pulling it all back and giving and caring for yourself. Dropping into being truly nourished. And so you can drink from the wellspring and be an overflowing offering of love at the level of frequency, the level of emanation and aura. Unplug yourself from all of the ways that you feel obliged or responsible from a place of keeping yourself safe. Drink from the wellspring of silence. Be reorganized and reoriented right now so that you can be an overflowing wellspring as an offering of love that's coming from a deep, pure devotion to wholeness, to yourself, to the fullness of yourself, to the glory of your own heart's revelation of being one with the glory, one with the one and only. That you are the one and only. You are the love that love loves. You are the one that love loves. That love is in your own heart, and it is loving. Just to receive it. Let that love just wash through your whole field and system, scooping up and gathering all of the discordant places that feel lost and alone and divided, scooping them all up into the one heart, into the revelation of love.